William Collins presents In Search of Schrödinger's Cat by John Gribbin. Read by Nicholas Masters-Waage. Acknowledgements. My acquaintance with quantum theory goes back more than 20 years to my school days, when I discovered the magical way in which the electron shell model of the atom explained the periodic table of elements, and virtually all of the chemistry that I had struggled with through many a tedious lesson. Following up this discovery for myself with the aid of library books allegedly too far advanced for my modest scholastic level, I immediately discovered the beautiful simplicity of the quantum theory's explanation of atomic spectra, and experienced for the first time the revelation that the best things in science are both beautiful and simple, a fact that all too many teachers conceal from their students, by accident or design. I felt like the character in C.P. Snow's The Search, which I only read much later, who discovers much the same thing. I saw a medley of haphazard facts fall into line and order. But it's true, I said to myself. It's very beautiful, and it's true. Partly as a result of this insight, I decided to read physics at university. In due course, the ambition was fulfilled, and I became an undergraduate at the University of Sussex in Brighton. But there, the simplicity and beauty of the underlying ideas was smothered in a wealth of detail and mathematical recipes for solving specific problems, with aid of the equations of quantum mechanics. Applying these ideas in the world of physics today seemed to bear as much relevance to the underlying truth and beauty as piloting a 747 must bear to hand gliding. And although the power of that initial incitement remained as a major influence in my career, for a long time I neglected the quantum world and explored other scientific pleasures. The fires of that early interest were rekindled by a combination of factors. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, books and articles began to appear attempting, with varying success, to introduce the strange world of quantum to a non-scientific audience. Some of these alleged popularizations were so outrageously far from the truth that I could not imagine any reader discovering the truth and beauty of science by reading them. And I began to feel moved to do the job properly. At the same time, news was coming in of the continuing series of experiments that has now established the reality of some of the strangest features of quantum theory, and that news inspired me to delve back into the libraries and refresh my understanding of those strange ideas. Finally, one Christmas I was asked by the BBC to appear on a radio programme as a kind of scientific counterweight to Malcolm Muggeridge, who had recently announced his conversion to Catholic faith and was the principal guest at the time of this festival. After the great man had had his say, emphasizing the mysteries of Christianity, he turned to me and said, "But here's the man who knows all the answers, or claims to know all the answers." In the limited time at my disposal, I endeavored to respond in kind, pointing out that science does not claim to have all the answers, and that it is religion, not science, that depends essentially on absolute faith and conviction that the truth is known. "I don't believe anything," I said, and was about to expand on this philosophy when the programme came to an end. All through the festive season, I was greeted by both friends and acquaintances with an echo of those words, and spent hours explaining that my lack of absolute faith in anything did not prevent me from leading a normal life, making use of such reasonable working hypotheses as the likelihood that the sun won't disappear overnight. The process crystallized my thoughts on what science is all about, and involved a lot of discussion of the basic reality, or unreality, of the quantum world. Enough to convince me that I really was ready to write the book you now hold. While preparing the book, I tried out many of the more subtle arguments in my regular scientific contributions to a radio show hosted by Tommy Vance and broadcast by the British Forces Broadcasting Service. Tom's probing questions soon uncovered deficiencies in my presentation and resulted in a better organisation of my ideas.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?